All right, guys, so today I'm gonna be working on my single axle truck here. It is an '06 Sterling. This got the MBE900 in it. It's smaller, 53,000 pound gross truck. This truck is fairly new by mileage standards. It's under 100K, so haven't had any issues with it, if you can count running it out of fuel, because these are hard trucks, or I say hard engines to prime, but that's been the only issue with this, so that's good. So what I'm going to do is, I got one of those performance tuners for this thing. It says it's supposed to give you like 15-20%. So what I did was I hung it up there where it can stay dry, vibration free. And this is the harness right here. This is what I'll be hooking up to the injectors, essentially all of the unit injectors, and there's 6 of them on these Benz engines. This engine's also non-emission, so I don't have to deal with some of the extra stuff. And what I need to do is determine which wire is positive on these unit coils and which are negative, because they're not all the same. I've already removed the side cover here, so I can do that. I'm gonna get a voltmeter to test that determination. So what I'm using here is just a Klein. I'm gonna turn it to volts, and on these, when they start up, you got to hit select, because if you don't, it won't change from AC to DC. So now it says DC, and it's basically an auto range here. You can change the range to whatever you want, but I just leave it on auto. And apparently what we're gonna look for is this minus sign, right? So how you place these terminals on the unit injector, if you get a minus sign, then you need to switch it back, swap these so you get a positive or no sign at all on this. And then you'll know which one is the positive terminal. And once you find that out, you kind of stick wires 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8 to the positive terminal, and then the remaining will go on the negative terminals. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I can't wait to get this thing hooked up. All right, so this is what I came up with. All of mine consistent. All of the contacts on the lower side are positive, and the uppers are negative. So I think that'll be pretty easy for me to connect these wires. And all it is, as you can see here, are these spade terminals. So I'm gonna use a 5mm to take these unit injector screws out, and then attach these and zip tie it. And then I just need to find a place for the power here. There's power and ground. It's pretty easy. So I have battery right here, and there's tons of areas for ground. Like this is a ground back here, so that'll be easy too. Yeah, so all right, I'm gonna get that all connected up. All right, so I got this thing wired up. I'll show you the voltage first. So I just went off of this thing. Had plenty of these solenoids. This is constant battery ground. Instructions really don't say if you want constant or switch. So I just put on constant because I heard on the video that they said, hey, connect it directly to the battery or the alternator. Unfortunately, this engine doesn't have the alternator right over here like the 4000 engine. So I just went here to the solenoids. This same thing, this is a battery hookup, and then these are excellent grounds off the base of the solenoid. So run it through there, zip tied everything up nicely here, and then this is your injector wire. I got all the wires on the unit injectors. Fortunately, there's plenty of room to reach back there in number 5 and 6. I will say that numbers 3 and 4 are a pain in the butt to get the wiring on, mainly because of these plastic pieces here. I think this is for the side plate. I'm gonna put the side plate back on so that you can't see any of that side of the engine. You know, all these fancy engines, they love their engine covers, and so it'll all sit back there. Now I did start the truck. It started right up, so that tells me good. I've got my original unit injector wires are on correctly, and this module is doing its thing. So yeah, I'm curious to see, because this is a non-adjustable module. It just says it's self-adjusting and 15-20%. So I'm gonna go throw some fuel in it and see how she rolls down the highway. Now when I started it up, I did, you know, rev it a little, and the cab rocked. Maybe it's on my imagination. I mean, it did rock. Now whether it was doing that before or not, I couldn't tell you, because, you know, but baseline, yeah, I want to tell you this, baseline power on this little MBE900 is 215 horsepower. So not much. I think the numbers on the dyno of this same engine on another truck, it was roughly like a 45 horsepower gain, and that was dyno power. So to the wheels. So I mean, that's pretty significant. I mean, when you're talking a dump truck, I mean, that's significant. So I'll take it all day long. So, but I'm gonna see how this thing freewheels, and the real test will be, you know, when you're pulling, you know, 30-40,000 behind it and going up the hill. So I really need to put my pyro gauges in this thing. I have boost and pyro gauges for this. So that's going to be on the list here shortly. Yeah, so let's see how it does. All right, so I'm going about 50 miles per hour at 1,700 RPMs. This truck winds out pretty easily. When you're at 65 miles per hour, you're at like 2,500 RPMs. It's like geared a little low, but especially with this new horsepower. Now, what I feel is, I mean, when I get on it, I can actually feel the engine, the truck setting back. Can you feel that, son, when I do it? Watch. I'm at 55. Feel it? Yeah. It's got torque at 10th speed at 55. That's the torque. Feel of your butt, feel of your pants, right? So I'm pretty happy with that. I don't need a bunch in it. This thing's probably now, it's gone from 215 to about 215 to about 250 horsepower, diesel horsepower, which is a great jump just for a chip. And the tuner, actually, it adjusts itself, so you don't need to turn knobs or do anything. It's just zip tied. You saw it out of the way. So pretty happy with that. And then as a side advantage benefit is they say that you're gonna get 1 to 2 miles per gallon. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill these tanks up. I'm gonna reset my odometer and see what happens. And you know, this will be mixed driving. Yeah, okay, so my thoughts on it. We just finished driving. You know, when it got up to temperature, everything normal ops in that truck, it's got more power in every gear, basically between 1,500 and 2,000 RPMs, right? You get in that torque power curve, and you're shifting, it just, that speed armor just runs up quickly. And I mean, this is a single axle dump truck, so very impressive. And when I'm at 55 and I get on it, you can feel seated pants, like you can feel the truck kick back and go. Now, is it like a Cummins, you know, 2,500 or something? No, you're not gonna feel that, but you feel it still, which is pretty impressive. Go from 215, you know, add whatever 40-50 horsepower just by putting a box on it. So very happy with that. And if you like this, subscribe.